about glories of Snuvala Sakha and Sri Caitanya Caritamrita Antya Lila 6.1 onwards. Mataji, are you there?
Hare Krishna, Anjana Gopika Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your warm welcoming, and Hare Krishna to all the
Okay,
devotees.
please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Please take over the call, Mataji. Thank you for your association.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat pranams to everyone on the call. Thank you all so much for joining us in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. And my humble obeisances to everyone on the call. Thanks to everyone for the beautiful chanting. So we are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. We'll start with the Mangalacharan. जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंदा ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकाय चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः Hare Krishna. So we are very, very happy to be commencing chapter 6 of the Antya Lila. Chapter 6 is titled The Meeting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Raghunatha Das Goswami. So it's a very interesting chapter. We are going to see the beautiful interaction between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Raghunath Das Goswami. So I'll read a couple of verses and then we'll go ahead with the storyline. So let's go with the first verse of Antya Lila, chapter 6. Kripa gunairya kugrandhakupat udritya bhangya raghunatadasam nyasaswarupe vidade antarangam Sri Krishna Chaitanya mamum prapatye. So this is the very first shloka, and generally the very first shloka also talks about what the chapter is going to present. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami composes this very beautiful verse, and we'll see the translation of this verse. It says, with the ropes of his causeless mercy, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu employed a trick to deliver Raghunatha Das Goswami from the blind well of contemptible family life. He made Raghunath Das Goswami one of his personal associates, placing him under the charge of Swarup Damodar Goswami. I offer my obeisances unto him. Very beautiful verse talking about how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave his causeless mercy and finally embraced Raghunath Das Goswami and put him under the care of Swarup Damodar Goswami. Text 2. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Translation. All glories to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Nityananda. All glories to Sri Advaita Acharya. All glories to all the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, actually, in the beginning of this chapter, there are a few things that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami introduces us to. He does talk about the later pastimes of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was staying in Puri in Gambhira. And the mood, the internal mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is revealed to us. Actually, in the later chapters of the Antya Lila, there is much more description about how Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeling when he was in Puri and who was giving him solace. So what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami does is, in the first few verses of this chapter, he gives us a glimpse. He gives us a glimpse of how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeling and who was comforting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was feeling pangs of separation from the Lord. So that is what the first few verses talk about in this chapter. And then once he talks a little bit about that, he goes on to describe about what happened with Raghunath Das Goswami. So what we will do is we'll spend some time in understanding this, what was happening with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and who was giving him solace. And after we discuss a bit about that, we will go further to the story of Raghunath Das Goswami. So in today's class, we can pretty much split our session into two parts. The first part will be about the confidential associates of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya, who was giving solace to both Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. We'll try to connect Krishna Lila and Gaura Lila in terms of the close associates of the Lord. And then in the second half of the class, we'll go to the story of Raghunath Das Goswami. We will definitely not be completing Raghunath Das Goswami's story, but we'll just give an introduction to his story. Okay, so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like this, when he was in Puri, he was performing many beautiful pastimes in Jagannath Puri, and he was experiencing all sorts of transcendental pleasure. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was in Puri during these final years, he was feeling intense separation from Krishna. He tried not to manifest these feelings very openly and externally, because he thought that the devotees around him would feel unhappy if he overly expressed his feelings very openly, where everyone can see his feelings. Definitely close associates would feel unhappy to see this kind of separation that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually experiencing. So the transformations that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu underwent when he had severe unhappiness because of his separation from Krishna is very hard to describe. It's extremely hard, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he says that in the beginning of this chapter, but it's so hard to describe it. And therefore, he doesn't describe it immediately. Rather, he just says a few words and then he talks about Raghunath Goswami. And later, much later in the Antya Lila, these descriptions are given to some extent. But even then, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami feels it's extremely hard to describe them in great detail. So these descriptions will be given in the later chapters. However, whenever Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt these acute pangs of separation from Krishna, only two things gave him solace. What were the two things, and who are these two people? So it's a very clear guess. The two things is, one is Ramananda Raya's talks about Krishna, and Swarup Damodar Goswami's sweet songs about Krishna. So only these two things kept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu alive. So I repeat, the two things are Ramananda Raya's talks about Krishna and Swarup Damodar Goswami's sweet songs about Krishna. So we have already seen about the greatness of Swarup Damodar Goswami in the previous chapter. We saw how Swarup Damodar Goswami was the filter to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and anyone who wrote a poem or a drama or any sort of composition had to go through Swarup Damodar Goswami. And this Swarup Damodar Goswami was very close with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he could clearly understand the mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So who is the Swarup Damodar Goswami? He is identified as Lalita Sakhi from Krishna Lila. And who is the other person who was the constant companion of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? It was Ramananda Raya. Now Ramananda Raya, who is he identified as? He is identified as Vishaka Sakhi. So in our previous chapter, we also saw the glories of Ramananda Rai in our previous two chapters. How Ramananda Rai was an expert in understanding who Krishna is, who his confidential devotees are, and how Ramananda Rai, also in the Madhya Lila, we see that he knew this Rasa Tattva perfectly. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt great happiness discussing Krishna Katha with him. So these two confidential associates, who are actually Lalita Saki and Vishaka Saki from Krishna Leela, were the constant companions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And whenever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu needed this comforting solace, these two associates were with him all the time. Now, as far as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was concerned, when he was in Puri, through the day, somehow or the other, his mind would get diverted because he would be meeting so many associates, he would be meeting so many devotees. So, for him, through the day, somehow his mind would get diverted and he would not get into these pangs of separation from Krishna. But, however, towards the night, when less number of people came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the pangs of separation that he felt from Krishna kept increasing like anything. And at that time, only these two people could actually pacify him. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he explains this in the beginning of this chapter. So, there are some very interesting verses that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami talks about in the beginning of this chapter. If you focus your attention towards verse number 10 of this chapter, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, previously, when Lord Krishna was present, Subala, one of his cowherd boyfriends, gave him happiness when he felt separation from Srimati Radharani. Similarly, Ramananda Raya helped give happiness to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, the first comparison being made in verse number 10 of this chapter is that whenever Sri Krishna in Vrindavana felt separation from Srimati Radharani, his very, very close friend Subhala used to give him comfort. In the same mood, in a similar way, whenever Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt separation, okay, when he felt pangs of separation, Ramananda Raya used to give him comfort. In the next verse, he says, previously, when Srimati Radharani felt the pangs of separation from Krishna, her constant companion Lalita kept her alive by helping her in many ways. Similarly, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt Radharani's emotions, Swarup Damodar Goswami helped him maintain his life. So we see two sets of comparisons. So in Krishna Leela, when Krishna was feeling separation, who was giving him solace? Subalasaka. And when Radharani was feeling separation from Krishna, who was giving her solace? Lalita Sakhi. So similarly, here in Gambhira, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is a combination of Sri Radha and Krishna, Radha Krishna Naiyanya, he's a combination, right? So when he was feeling separation in the mood of Krishna from Radharani, at that time Ramananda Raya would help him, just like Subal Saka. When he was feeling separation in the mood of Srimati Radharani from Krishna, at that time, Swarup Damodar in the mood of Lalita would give him solace. So, like this, it is very, very difficult. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is telling us it's very difficult to describe the fortunate position of these two companions. Who are the two companions now he's talking about? He's talking about Swarup Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Raya. It's very, very difficult to understand their exalted position, and it's very difficult to describe their fortune. And because why? Because they were so intimately associated with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, what was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Why did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have to undergo these two mixed feelings? One being in the mood of Radha, one being in the mood of Krishna. So this is described throughout. Of course, we all know who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. He is Krishna himself in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And this is being confirmed through different passages in Sri Chaitanya Caritamrata as well. Just like we see in Caitanya Caritamrita Madhya Lila, chapter 8, verse 282, it says, Lord Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure, and Srimati Radharani is the personification of ecstatic love of Godhead. These two forms had combined as one in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay? So, this form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has two personalities in him. Therefore, he is undergoing two emotions, right? So that's what this verse in Madhya Lila says. Again, in Adi Lila 1.5, this what Mahaprabhu was undergoing is explained. How he's a combination of both Radha and Krishna, and how his emotions are a combination of what Radharani was feeling and what Krishna was feeling. So in Adi Leela 1.5 it says, Radha Krishna is one. Okay, Radha and Krishna are one. Radha Krishna is Krishna and Krishna's pleasure potency combined. So Radha Krishna is one, and Radha Krishna means is his Radha Krishna is Krishna with Krishna's pleasure potency combined. When Krishna exhibits his pleasure potency, he appears to be two, Radha and Krishna. Okay, so Radha Krishna are one. When the pleasure potency is exhibited separately, meaning as another personality, then they become Radha and Krishna. Otherwise, Radha and Krishna are one. They are one. But still, when he wants to feel this pleasure potency, he wants to enjoy pastimes, at that time they become two figures, Radha and Krishna. This oneness may be perceived by advanced devotees through the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came here to show us this oneness of Radha and Krishna, and that is what he was undergoing. So, he was undergoing the emotions of both Sri Radha and Krishna, and this form was directly seen by Sri Ramananda Rai. We have also seen this in the Madhya Leela, how Ramananda Rai actually got to see the oneness of Radha and Krishna in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, again back to our topic, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Gambhira, Ramananda Raya and Swarup Damodar constantly gave him comfort. And when in Krishna Leela, Krishna was often given comfort by Subal Saka when he experienced pangs of separation from Radharani, and Lalita Sakhi gave comfort to Radharani when she was suffering pangs of separation from Krishna. Okay, so till now we got this clear. That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there, he's a combined form, and he's getting solace from both these associates whenever he felt separation. Now, why is Subal Saka mentioned here? Right? That's a big $1 million question, because we never read anywhere that Ramananda Raya was Subal Saka. We don't read that. So why is that mentioned here? And especially we see that in Caitanya Caritamrata and Gaur Ganodesh Deepika, Gauridas Pandit, who was an associate of Lord Chaitanya from Ambika Kalna, he is identified as Subal Saka in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. But however, we should understand that those pastimes were in that particular region, in Navadvip region, or in the region when Mahaprabhu was performing his pastimes before his sannyas. So before that, yes, Gauridas Pandit was in the mood of Subal Sakha, and they enjoyed pastimes together. But here in Gambhira, here in Puri, Ramananda Raya takes on the role of this particular Sakha by the name Subal Sakha, and he gives solace to Lord Chaitanya. So in this session today, we will have some discussion on how Subal Saka served Sri Krishna and how Lalita Sakhi served Srimati Radharani, and how they enhance this relationship of Radha and Krishna. If we understand the mood of Subal Saka and the mood of Srimati Lalita Sakhi, then we can understand how exactly Ramananda Raya and Swarup Damodar Goswami were actually giving solace to Sriman Mahaprabhu. So that is what we are going to do now. So let's see about Subal Saka. Also, we just celebrated Gopashtami yesterday, so definitely seeing the glories of Subal Saka today would be very appropriate. So I thought we can just look into who Krishna's friends were and who these Sakas were, and how Subal Saka served Krishna. So in Gokul, Krishna's Sakas, they are generally divided into four groups. Who are these four groups? The first group is the well-wisher Sakas. They are called as the well-wishers. The second are the friends. They are called as friends. The third is confidential friends. They are a step higher. And the fourth is the intimate friends. Okay, so four groups, of which the intimate friends are the topmost. Now, little more details about each of these groups. Krishna's well-wishing friends are generally a bit older than Krishna. Because they are a bit older than Krishna, they have some sort of a paternal affection towards him. Sakyarasa is there, but still they also have some sort of paternal affection being older. They always try to protect him from any sort of harm. Sometimes they hold weapons in their hands and they go around chastising any mischievous persons who come to harm Krishna. Sometimes, if some demons attack, they try to protect Krishna. They take weapons in their hands and they go and stand in front, saying that don't try to attack my Krishna. So, like that, they exhibit this paternal affection from time to time. And among these different well wishing friends are Subhadra, Mandhalibhadra, Bhadravandana, Gobataka, Yaksha, Indrabata, Veerabhadra, Mahaguna, Vijaya, and Balabhadra. Bhadraanga is also mentioned. So you see Balabhadra is being mentioned here. So when Balaram was in his friendship with Krishna, in the mood of friendship, definitely he had a lot of paternal love also because he was the elder brother. So he's called as one of the well-wishing friends of Krishna. And what was Balabhadra doing all the time? He was constantly thinking about the welfare of Krishna. If Krishna ate dirt, Balram would get scared. If Krishna went into the coils of the serpent of Kalia, of course, he was the one who was strong initially, but then he could understand that any danger that came to Krishna, he would be the first one to step up and try to protect Krishna. So, yeah, this is the mood of Balabhadra. Balabhadra was always like a well wishing friend towards Krishna. And among the well wishing friends of Krishna, of course, there is a big list. In this big list, Mandhalibhadra and Balabhadra were the chief ones, the most protective of Krishna. Now, uh, the next set were the ones who are called as friends. They are just called as sakas. These set of friends were slightly smaller than Krishna. So, since they were younger than Krishna, they always had this kind of attachment towards him in the mood of service. They always wanted to serve him, and they also had friendly relationship with him. So, they are called as sakas or ordinary friends. And some of the sakas in Krishna Lila are Vishala, Vrishabha, Ojasvi, Deva Prashta, Varutapa, Maranda, Kusmapida, Manibandha, and Karandama. So all of these were Krishna's friends. They were slightly younger than Krishna. So therefore, though they had friendship, they always liked to serve Krishna in various ways. Like an example is given. When Yashoda Ma wanted to dress up Krishna and get him ready to go to the pasture grounds, at that time, sometimes Bishala, one of the cowherd boys, he would come and he would stand in the doorstep because all these younger cowherd boys, they loved Krishna so much that they would get ready before Krishna and they would go and stand near Krishna's house so that they could be of some service to Krishna and then they could all proceed together. So, one of the friends was Vishala. He was a younger boy and he would go and he would stand in the doorstep. And then when Yashoda used to see this boy coming, she would say, "Hey, Vishala, why are you standing there? Why don't you come in?" And then with Yashoda Mataji's permission, Vishala used to go inside and then he would see that Yashoda is dressing up Krishna. So very lovingly, Vishala would also serve in the dressing of Krishna. So he would take anklets and he would put it around Krishna's leg. And at that time, Krishna very mischievously, he would take his flute and he would kind of tap this boy, beat this boy a bit. And then Yashoda would chastise Krishna, saying, "Don't do that. Don't. Why are you treating you Vishala like this?" And then both of them would laugh. Even Vishala would enjoy that. It was just a joking strike, jokingly he would strike Vishala, and both of them would be giggling. So you see the mood of Vishala. He would like to go and serve Krishna. You see the mood of Balaram, protection. But still, they are friends. Okay, so we have seen two sets of friends. Now, the third set of friends are called as confidential friends. They are also called as Priya Sakas, very, very confidential. And these friends, they were of the same age of Krishna, around the same age. And their friendship was just pure friendship. There was no question of paternal affection or there was no question of servitude. The basic principle was just pure friendship. They considered Krishna on an equal level. So they would put their arms around Krishna and they would fight with Krishna. So they had these kind of feelings towards Krishna, very, very equal, same level feelings. And some of the friends in this level were Sridhama, Sudama, Dama, Vasudama, Kinkini, Stoka Krishna, Amshu, Bhadrasena, Vilasi, Pundraka, Vitanka, and Kalavinka. So these were some of the friends, especially Sridama and Sudama, you must have all heard. Sridama, Sudama, Dama, Vasudama, Stoka Krishna, these are all common Sakha. So they were all on an equal level. So they would enjoy pastimes with Krishna in the forest. And the behavior of these confidential friends was described by Radharani and her friends. Actually, Radharani and her friends were once conversing about these confidential friends. So they were actually commenting on Madhumangal. Madhumangal is also counted among the confidential friends of Krishna. He is in the third category. So some gopis were talking about Madhumangal. They were talking about how Madhumangal, he was so fond of eating laddus, and he loved eating so much. He was a Brahmana, and the rest of these boys, especially Krishna, was a Vaishya. So Madhumangal would love eating laddus, and he would bribe Krishna. He would tell Krishna, if you give me more laddus and if you make me happy, then as a Brahmana, I will give you blessings and you'll be able to meet Srimati Radharani more often. So, like this, and Krishna would feel very pleased by these blessings that Madhumangal is giving, and Krishna would feed him more laddus. So, like this was the mood in which the confidential friends were dealing with Krishna. So, they are called as Priyasakas. They were very, very confidential, and they were very close to Krishna, meaning they were considering Krishna to be on an equal level. And among all these confidential friends, Sridama, who's actually Radharani's brother, is considered to be the chief. Okay, now we are moving to the fourth category. These sakhas were the most confidential, extremely confidential. They are called as Priya Narma sakhas, meaning very, very intimate friends. Okay, these are the ones who were able to assist Krishna in his conjugal pastimes. So, therefore, they are considered as the most confidential. The first set, second set, third set, not so much directly involved in Krishna's conjugal pastimes. But the Priyanarma Sakhas were the ones to whom Krishna would reveal his inner mind. And these were the friends who would give him solace whenever he felt separation from Srimati Radharani. So, therefore, among these Priyanarma friends are the ones who are Subala, Arjuna, Gandharva, Vasanta, and Ujjvala. So here we see the name of Subala. So now you can connect why Ramananda Raya is mentioned as being in the mood of Subala when he was giving comfort to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu whenever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt the pangs of separation. So these Priyanarma Sakhas, you have the chief one is Subala, and he's considered extremely important. Subala and Ujjvala are considered as important, especially Subala is the one that we are going to focus on today. So Subala, he is known to be the message carrier of all the gopis. He would go and deliver these important messages from the gopis to Krishna. There is one conversation between the gopis. Again, these conversations are recorded between the gopis and later recorded in Nectar of Devotion. So all that I'm speaking is from Nectar of Devotion by Srila Rupa Goswami. Two gopis were speaking and they were commenting on Subala's service. So one girl was telling Krisangi, who's Krisangi? Krisangi is actually Radharani herself. Krisangi means one who's very delicate. So one of the names of Radharani is Krisangi. So she goes and tells, hey Krisangi, see how the Subala is whispering your message into Krishna's ears. Not only that, he is also delivering the letter of Shyama Dasi. And he's also giving the betel nuts that were prepared by Palika into Krishna's mouth. And he's decorating Krishna with a garland that is prepared by Taraka. So, like this, whatever the gopis desire to offer, the Subala would actually take it and he would offer to Krishna. So he could mediate between the gopas and the gopis. So that is really confidential. Not all the sakhas could do that, but Subala was a very, very intimate friend of Krishna and he was engaged in such services. And as I mentioned, Subala and Ujjwala are very, very important among these Priyanarma sakhas. Now, the dealings between Subala and Krishna, they were so confidential that sometimes when they both were speaking, nobody could even understand what they are talking. They had such confidential talks and they would talk in various ways that others couldn't understand. So the most important secrets were shared between these two boys. And in Chaitanya Caritamrita, Madhya Lila, 23rd chapter, verse 55, Subala is mentioned and his service is also mentioned. It says, Saka Vatsalya Ratipaya Anuraga Sima Subalyedra Bhava Paryanta Premera Mahima. After the mellows of servitorship, there are the mellows of friendship and paternal love, which increase to subordinate spontaneous love. The greatness of the love found in friends like Subala extends to the standard of ecstatic love of Godhead. So he is considered extremely important. So this Subala, he demonstrates pure love of God and he serves both Radha and Krishna to very great measures. Actually, since he's serving as a mediator sometimes in the past times, he's actually mutually serving both Radha and Krishna. And Radharani also has a very special relationship with Subala because we see in the prayers of Raghunath Das Goswami in his Brajavilasa Stava that he has composed, he talks about how Subala was actually very dear even to Srimati Radharani. So I'll just read the translation of some of these verses composed by our acharyas. They talk about the greatness of Subala and Radharani. He says, filled with deep love for him, the and anxious that they may be separated, Subala never in dream lets go of the hand of Sri Krishna, the moon of Gokula. Subala's heart is sprinkled with the waters of the swiftly moving mountain stream of devotion to Srimati Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances to Subala, whose body trembles with the love for both Sri Radha and Krishna. So this was the mood of Subala. And Subala, he is described in various shastras to have a very fair complexion. He wears beautiful blue colored garments and he's decorated with different kinds of jewels and flowers. And during Krishna's Vrindavan Leela, he is described as being 12 and a half years old. That is the age of Subala. And he grows with a beautiful luster. He's got a very beautiful luster. And he is immersed in serving both Radha and Krishna in various ways because he arranges for the different meetings of the divine couple. And both Radha and Krishna take him into confidence when they are talking. Because they know that Subala is very, very, he can be trusted and he's full of charming beauty and he has lots of transcendental love for both Radha and Krishna. And he's very, very cheerful. He has a cheerful demeanor. He's full of good qualities and he becomes very dear to both of them. Sometimes Radharani, she also feels a little jealous of Subala because of his close relationship with Krishna, because she feels that Subala can freely embrace Krishna at any time, even in public places, even in front of elders. So sometimes Radharani, she feels a little envious. Subala is very, very special. She tells Subala, my dear Subala, you're very fortunate because even in the presence of superiors, you and Krishna have no hesitation in putting your arms on each other's shoulders. I think it must be admitted that in your previous lives you have succeeded in many austerities. So, this is all from Nectar of Devotion, chapter 42, if you want to refer. So, like this, Krishna's boyhood friend Subala, he had a very multi-faceted service attitude towards Sri Radha and Krishna. And along with Krishna and Balaram, Subala is also involved in many of the demon pastimes. So when many of the demons come, Subala is also directly involved in dealing with the demons. And especially we see his mention directly in the Bhagavatam during the Dhenukasura pastime. Some of the very important cowherd boys are mentioned, of which Subala is also mentioned. I believe it was Sridham, Stoka Krishna, and Subala who are mentioned during the Dhenukasura pastime, Srimad Bhagavatam 10, 15, 20. And not only that, Subala is known to have assisted Krishna during the toll collecting pastime, which is very, very popular, and also during the pearl pastime. So he was again considered a mediator during the pearl pastime. So, like that, in the various works of the Acharyas, they always quote Subala and his very interesting service that he performs and his attachment that he has for both Radha and Krishna. He's fond of both of them. That's the reason why he makes so many expert arrangements for their meeting. And again, some our acharyas like Raghunath Das Goswami in his Radhika Ashtottara Shatas Nama Stotra, he talks about Radharani being very fond of Subala. So, in the different names of Radharani, 108 names of Radharani, one of the names of Radharani itself is like one who looks like Subala. So now, because we are going, this particular thing is there that Subala has this resemblance towards Radharani. There was a pastime that happened, and we'll discuss that pastime, which you all know, of course, since you have just celebrated Gopashtami, everyone knows the pastime. But in this particular work by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, in the 12th verse, he says, Subala Nyasta Sarupya Subala Preethi Toshita. These are the names of Radharani. Imagine Radharani, one of her names is one who looks like Subala and one who's happy when Subala is happy. So if Subala is happy, Radharani is happy. And she also has this very strong resemblance in face uh, to Subala. Srimati Radharani and Subala, they look like each other. So this is written by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. And similarly, in Rupa Goswami's Tavamala, he also describes the 108 verses of Srimati Radharani, wherein the 18th and the 18th, the 20th, sorry, the 21st verse, he talks about Subala. She is considered as Patri Subala Nandini. So she's, Purnamasi Pratu Prema Patri Subala Nandini. So this word Subala Nandini means one who's always pleased with Subala. So in many of the 108 names of Radharani that is composed by our acharyas, they do give importance to Subala. And Srimati Radharani is always happy with him, and she's got this very striking resemblance with him as well. So let's look at that pastime. So we all know about this pastime. Anyway, I'll try to say it in short. One day, Krishna, when he was in Vrindavan, he was feeling very deep pangs of separation from Srimati Radharani, and it was very difficult for Subala to console him in any way. He tried his best, but he was not able to console Krishna from his separation. He told Subala, see, I just cannot stand being away from Srimati Radharani, so somehow or the other, you must go and bring Radharani here. And Subala was very confused and perplexed, and he said, how is it that I can bring her to the forest at this point in time in broad daylight? You're asking for something that is impossible, because Radharani is always protected by these vigilant elders like Jatila and Kutila, who's the mother-in-law and the sister-in-law of Srimati Radharani. You're always vigilantly protecting her, and also there is this so-called husband of hers. So how am I to bring Radharani in broad daylight? And there's no way that I can do it. But then Krishna was extremely insistent. He said, no way, you have to do it. Today you must do it, because I'm feeling so much separation from Srimati Radharani. You just figure it out somehow or they'll get it done. So then Subala, he was thinking how to serve Radha and Krishna. So therefore he hatched a plan in his mind. He went to Radharani's house with one of the calves in his hand, and he went near the house and he put that calf down, and he gave a twist to its tail and he set it to run. So basically he had a calf in his hand, he put it down and he twisted the tail, and then he pushed the calf so that the calf would start running off near Radharani's home. And then he went very casually to Radharani's home, where Jatila and Kutila were, and he went there and he began to speak to Jatila. He said, Jatila, he went and told her that I am here actually because I am come to find a lost calf. And when Jatila heard this, she told, "What are you doing here? How did you lose a calf? Huh? You are that friend of that rascal Krishna, and your house is so far away. And how are you telling that you have lost a calf here?" And then Subala told, "No, mother, it's not like that. I've really lost one of my calf. And that calf, that mother of that calf, the cow is being crying from morning and she's creating such a big stir there in the forest. She's non-stop crying because she has lost this calf somehow or the other. I have to retrieve this calf. So just let me go and search inside your house. I saw the calf running inside your house." And then Jatila was kind of very, very suspicious. But then she said, "Okay, if you feel that it is definitely that your calf has come this way, I allow you. You can go inside the house and search." So then Subala, he took advantage of the situation and he went into Radharani's home. He went to her quarters and he told Radharani what was happening, that Krishna was actually missing her so much. And at that time, they exchanged clothes. Both Subala and Srimati Radharani. Radharani wore Subala's clothes like a cowherd boy, and Subala wore Radharani's clothes and disguised like her and sat down in her room. And the calf was caught because he had sent the calf there, right? So they caught the calf, and Radharani took the calf in her arms and dressed like Subala, dressed like a cowherd boy. She took the calf and she headed towards the forest. And Jatila thought it was Subala who's walking out of the house who has found the calf. So, like this, she was successfully able to go and meet Krishna. And the point here is that she looked so much like Subala, or Subala looked so much like Srimati Radharani, that it was very difficult for Jatila to actually recognize the switch. And even when Radharani went in the guise of Subala, and she went and she met Krishna at that time, even Krishna was confused. It is mentioned that even Krishna thought, oh, Subala is back, but he's not brought Radharani. He thought like that, and he looked at Radharani, who was in the guise of Subala, and he told him, "Hey, Subala, why are you here without Radharani? Couldn't you bring Radharani? You have failed in your mission." But then Radharani, she said, "Oh yes," she was trying to play with Krishna. She said, "Oh, it was so impossible. I tried really hard. I went to Jatila's home and I tried really hard, but then there was no luck. So if you want, I can bring Chandravali here." And then Krishna said, "No, no, no. Curd cannot satisfy the thirst for milk. It is not possible." And Krishna was so disappointed. And then Radharani, who was in the dress of Subala, she went to him and then she embraced him and said, "Can't you recognize me? I am Radharani." So that is the pastime that is observed on the day of Gopashtami. That's also one of the pastimes that is observed. Of course, Gopashtami is celebrated for Krishna graduating to taking care of cows from calves. But this pastime is also known to have occurred on the same day, and that is the reason why deities around the world are, especially the Radharani deities and the Gopi deities, are all dressed like cowherd boys, and their lotus feet is revealed to us, commemorating this pastime. So we see Subala's role, and Subala, because of his unique, attractive face that looked very much like Radharani, all these things were possible. And in this month of Kartik, of course, everyone prays to Srimati Radharani because it's Radharani's own month. And there are so many pastimes that happen in this Kartik month, but the pinnacle, the Kartik month, after pastime has happened in this Kartik month, so many festivals. And towards the end of the Kartik month, this is one of the sweetest pastimes and sweetest occasions that occur, which is this Gopashtami occasion. So this was Subala, and in Subala's mood, Ramananda Rai was serving very intimately Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this was about Ramananda Rai and his mode of Subala. Next, we also know Lalita Devi, and she is one of the foremost of the eight Sakhis. She's very, very confidential. She's a confidential associate of Srimati Radharani. And as far as the Sakhis are concerned, again, there are classifications just like the Sakhas that we saw. So the first set of Sakhis who are very, very close are called as the eight most exalted gopis. They are called as the Varishta gopis. And other than the Varishta gopis, that is the Ashta Sakhis as we know, they are also messenger gopis, manjaris, and Varagopis. Varagopis are called as exalted, but the most exalted are the Varishta gopis. So I'm not going to get into each of these Sakhis, but we can see a little bit about Lalita Sakhi. Lalita Sakhi is known to be the daughter of Vishoka and Sharadi, and her husband is Bhairava, and she's known to have the complexion of Garuchana, which is actually a yellowish kind of complexion. And she wears a cloth that is decorated with peacock feathers. So she's got peacock prints, feather prints on her garment, greenish color garment. And her kunja is colored like lightning and it's studded with rubies. It's called as Lalitananda and it is in the north of Radhakund. Her favorite instrument is the veena and she loves playing this Raga Bhairava Kalingada. And she specializes in the service of giving tambula to the divine couple, that is betel nut. She gives that to the divine couple. And oftentimes in the temples, we can see Lalita Sakhi offering chamara, the yak tail fan. She holds that and she offers it to the Lord in the temple. And she's slightly older than Srimati Radharani. She's about 27 days older than Srimati Radharani, and she's eternally 14 years, 8 months, 27 days old. And what is her mood? Her mood is that of a jealous heroine, and she chastises her beloved. And this mood is not for herself. It is more to enhance the pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna. So she teaches. Now we are going to see the mood in which Lalita Sakhi deals with Radharani. So what does Lalita Sakhi do? She teaches Radharani how to be very, very strict with Krishna. Basically, that's what she tells. She teaches her the ways of jealous anger because she feels that Radharani is not at all competent enough to show jealous anger. So Lalita Sakhi is almost described like a Siksha Guru. You know, she teaches her, this is how you should behave when Krishna comes. Don't give in to all that he asks for. Show your anger. So like that is her protective mood. She's one of the most intimate Sakhis, and she's always extremely protective of Srimati Radharani. She protects Srimati Radharani in everything and she quarrels with Krishna also so that she can protect Srimati Radharani. If Krishna comes late, the first one to chastise Krishna is Lalita Sakhi. And she gets very furious with him very often. She gets very, in all the fights, it's Lalita who's in the front fighting and protecting Srimati Radharani. So she's her Prana Sakhi. She is very, very expert in solving riddles and asking riddles, and she makes beautiful flower canopies, and then she arranges the couches, the umbrellas, everything for the divine couple. And she also knows a lot of magic and juggling, so she does all this. So she's the leader. She is the leader, undoubted leader of the Ashtasakis. And all the manjaris like Rupa Manjari and everyone, they are all under the guidance of Lalita Sakhi. And all the Rupa Nugas also, they follow in the footsteps, and everyone is under this leader, Lalita Sakhi. So this is the mode of Lalita Sakhi. And as sometimes, as we mentioned, that Krishna can get a little mischievous, and he may approach Srimati Radharani in a very casual manner. At that time, Lalita is very, very clever, and she chastises Krishna, and she always speaks in favor of Srimati Radharani. Now, this same Lalita Sakhi, in the same mood, in Gaura Leela, she appears as Swarup Damodar Goswami. And she does, and of course, Swarup Damodar Goswami does everything to make Gauranga Mahaprabhu feel happy. And without Swarup Damodar's sanction, no one can approach the intimacy of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So she's the one who preserves things that is favorable for Swarup Damodar Goswami is the one who's like a filter, as we have already been discussing. He never allows anything inappropriate to reach Mahaprabhu. He's very, very protective of Mahaprabhu. So in the same mode as Lalita Sakhi, very, very protective, always taking care of Mahaprabhu. Whenever Mahaprabhu is feeling these pangs of separation, Swarup Damodar Goswami is a constant companion, and he has seen some of these highest ecstasies that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has exhibited. So this is about Lalita Sakhi and the comparison with Swarup Damodar Goswami. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he mentions that the exact same service that Lalita performs for Srimati Radharani in arranging her meeting with Krishna, Swarup Damodar Goswami performed for Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Swarup Damodar Goswami, though he was an intimate childhood friend of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas and he came to Puri, at that time Swarup Damodar Goswami, who was previously called as Purushottam Acharya, later he decided to come and be this confidential associate of Sri Mahaprabhu. And he accepted the sannyas order of life just for the sake of the protection of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in Jagannath Puri, he was the constant companion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we'll continue from Caitanya Caritamrita, further verses 11, 12, 13, 14. We'll continue those verses. So it's very difficult, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, it's very, very difficult to describe this fortunate position of Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami. And they are, in fact, the most intimately confidential friends of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so we'll go verse number 12. It says, एमत विहारे गौरा लाना भक्त घना रघुनाथ मिलन ये बे शुण भक्त घना. Now the topic is changing. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, after he talks about this feelings of friendship between the three of them, he moves on to the next topic, which is the topic of Raghunath Das Goswami. So the translation is, the Lord thus enjoyed his life with his devotees. O devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, now hear how Raghunath Das Goswami met the Lord. Let's see now how Raghunath Das Goswami actually meets the Lord. Now, before we move on to that, we have to see a background of what has happened with Raghunath Das Goswami so far. Before he comes to Puri, what had happened previously in his life. So what we'll do is we'll quickly see the background of Raghunath Das Goswami today. We will not get into the further pastime of how he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he managed to escape. All that we will not be seeing today, because the further verses will talk about that in detail. So what we'll do is today we will just see a background of Raghunath Das Goswami's life. Raghunath Das Goswami, he took birth in the village of Krishnapura in the district of Hooghly. And his father's name was Sri Govardhan, and Govardhan had an elder brother, brother by the name Hiranyadas. So both of them were very, very respectable, wealthy landlords, and they belonged to the Kayastha caste. In one of the future purports, the Kayastha caste will be described in great detail. Prabhupada describes the Kayastha caste. Basically, they were wealthy, you can say landowners, and the Kayastha caste actually involved it is considered a mixed caste. There were many people coming from different backgrounds, like Brahminical background, Kshatriya background, Vaishya background, who belonged to the Kayastha caste. They were landlords. So therefore, both this Hiranya and Govardhan Majumdar, they were given this title as Majumdar, meaning that they were landowners. And Raghunath Das Goswami, he was born in such a house, and he was extremely rich since his childhood. And his priest, the priest of that household, was by the name Acharya Sri Balaram Das. And Haridas Thakur was a very close friend of Balram Acharya. So Haridas Thakur and Balram Acharya were close friends, and hence Raghunath Das Goswami also had this opportunity to get the good association of Haridas Thakur and listen to philosophical discourses by both Balaram Acharya, as well as get the association of Haridas Thakur. So since his childhood, Raghunath Das Goswami was very, very blessed. And Raghunath Das Goswami, he was also the only son in that family of Govardhan and Hiranya, and therefore he had all the care and affection. So much love was showered upon him. He had plenty of riches. He had everything in his life. He was brought up like the son of a king. But because of the association of these saintly devotees like Balramacharya and this Haridas Thakur, even from a very young age, though he had all this material opulences, Raghunath Das Goswami somehow started developing detachment towards this wealth, his family, his parents, and so on. Raghunath Das Goswami was even married when he was quite young because they saw the sense of detachment developing in him. But still, Raghunath Das Goswami was so much more attached to Krishna than anything else in his life. When he heard about the glories of Garanga Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, at that time he became very, very eager to get the darshan of both of them. So when he heard that this Lord Chaitanya had taken sannyas and he was going to leave Nadia forever, at that time he went to this house of Advaita Acharya in Shantipur so that he could go and meet the Lord. And when Raghunath Das Goswami, he saw the Lord in Shantipur and went and fell at the feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could immediately understand that this is none other than his eternal associate. So he embraced Raghunath Das Goswami, and Raghunath Das Goswami requested Lord Chaitanya that he wanted to accompany him and become his associate immediately. He wanted to give up everything, leave home, and then go with Lord Chaitanya. But then Lord Chaitanya advised him. He said, no, this is not the time that you should be leaving home. You should, in fact, continue your household affairs very normally, like a normal person. But then later, after I return from Vrindavan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Raghunath Das Goswami that he was planning to go to Vrindavan. And after his return from Vrindavan, that is when Raghunath Das Goswami should go and join him in Nilachal or Puri. So, the advice given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Raghunath Das Goswami at that point in time was that don't try to become a so called renunciant. All that you need to do is just go home and play the role of a ordinary person, like a pounds and shillings man, meaning just be like a normal wealthy man, just play that role. But however, that is something that you do externally. Internally, you become completely renounced. Internally, your heart should be such that it is always attached to Krishna and not to family life or wealth. But externally, for the pleasure of your parents and your relatives, just behave like this, like as if you're, externally an ordinary person. But internally, be attached to Krishna. Externally, act like an ordinary businessman. So, like this, your father and your mother will be satisfied. And later, when the time is ripe, when I return from Mathura city, at that time, you come and you join me in Puri Kshetra. So this was the advice that was given to Raghunath Das Goswami back in the Madhya Lila. We have already seen this past time. So I'm revising that so that we can just get to the storyline of what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is telling us now. Okay. So verse number 17, it says, Hena kale mulukera ye kamlecha adhikari saptagrama mulukera se haya chaudhry. This is verse 17. Translation is, at that time, there was a Muslim official collecting the taxes of Saptagram. Purport by Prabhupada. Formerly, when the Muslim government was in power, the person appointed tax collector would collect the taxes of the local zamindars or landlords. He would keep 1/4 of the collection for himself as profit, and the balance he would deliver to the treasury of the government. So we are going to stop here because we are not going to see what happened, what transpired after this. But I just want to continue the storyline and tell you that Raghunath Das Goswami, after he got this advice from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he stayed in household life for some time. Why? He was waiting for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to return after his Mathura trip or after his Vrindavan trip. And once he got the news that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has returned, that is when he wanted to go and join Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. Meanwhile, while he was in his house and when this time was coming close, this time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returning to Puri and he leaving home, when the time was coming close, what exactly was happening in the life of Raghunath Das Goswami? That is what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining now. He said at that time, the situation was that there was a particular Muslim official, a Chaudhry, who was responsible for collecting taxes from the different local landlords. These local landlords were called as Majumdars or Zamindars. So from them, this Chaudhry, a Muslim fellow, had to go and collect taxes and he had to give it to the king. Okay. And what happened after that? What happened after that? What happened to this Chaudhry? What happened to Hiranya? Hiranya and Govardhan Majumdar are the fathers and they are landlords, right? So there was some sort of a friction that developed between this Chaudhry and Govardhan and Hiranya kind of went missing. And then that actually aided the escape of Raghunath Das Goswami. So that is what we will be seeing in the following sessions throughout this week. So I will leave you hanging there, and time is up. So we will see the rest of the story because we are stopping at a point where there is a purport. I'm stopping at verse 17. And in the further sessions, we will see how Raghunath Das Goswami made this escape from home and how he joined Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Puri and how he came under the shelter of Swarup Damodar Goswami. So all that we will see, but we are stopping at verse number 17. So any questions, comments, or additions, corrections, please go ahead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Preethi Vilasini Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Brilliant class, very, very beautiful. Extremely wonderful class, and especially I liked how you touched upon the different sakhas of Krishna and how you brought forward Subala's position and how he looks like Srimati Radharani, and that's why Srimati Radharani could make an escape on the very special day of Gopashtami. And then, yes, touching upon Raghunath Das Goswami's pastime. So beautiful. Thank you so much for covering so nicely each and every topic and in so much of detail. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Kekada Sundari Mataji. I always look forward to your blessings. Thank you so much. Thank you. Very, very fortunate, Mataji, to have your association. Thank you.
Hi Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, glorious to Shri Prabhu.
So nice to see you.
Wonderful, wonderful Mataji. Such a beautiful meditation on Gopashtami. Such a beautiful, beautiful way you explained. And there were so many things and so many points. I definitely need to listen to this again. And it's really a pleasure to listen to you. How composed you are in explaining. It is just it's just nectar to your ears. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for I know there's so much of preparation which goes back end with so many listening and so many points to cover up without missing anything. And you do such a wonderful, wonderful service, Mataji.
So
I'm like,
we get inspired by you when you prepare for these classes. How you do a thorough job. You're always ready to go. Yeah.
nothing like that, Mataji. Really, like it is so. I'm just thinking about each and every point which you said and how the explanation is given, and definitely need to listen to this again. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Mataji, for your association all the way from India. The background is so beautiful. The picture of Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
so late in the night. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Very special. Thanks. Anyone else has anything to add or any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Mataji,
Hare Krishna.
beautiful class.
Shamagari Mataji, Dandavats. Thank you, Mataji, for joining the call. Thank you. So nice to hear from you.
Thank you, Preethi Mataji. Very nice nectarian class.
Haribol Kamadiki Mataji. Thank you so much for your association.
Very nice. You explain everything. Position of Subal Sakha Ramananda Rai. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamadiki Mataji. So nice to hear from you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Vilasini Gopi, Dandvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, jai jai Nityananda, jai jai Gauranga. Mataji, there is no words to take us in Siddham Vrindavan Dham and the Shakhas of Sridama, Sudama, Sloka Krishna, and Vasudhama and Bilashi, and so nicely explained about the Vishakha Shakhi and Subala, Madhumangala, their confident friend, and I take 2 minutes because sincerely make a note. Krishna, I wish you a blessing. And then there is a Priya Narma Sakha is Subala and Ujwala, and how nicely Subala Sakhi, Subala is when Lord Krishna said, I want to meet Srimati Radharani, that time Subala is it is impossible because in the daytime, because there is a उनकी माँ उनकी सास और उनकी जो नड़न थी वो नहीं आने देते. द नेम इज आई फॉरगॉट माता जी.
Kutila Kutila.
कुटिला. एंड देन सुबला छोटे से काफ बछड़े को लेके जाते हैं और उनको पूछ को ऐसे घुमाते हैं and वो अंदर भागते. And they said that Jatila Kutila, that my calf is inside and the cow is crying from the morning. Can I take it? And Subala is similarly face like Srimati Radharani, and Radharani also given so much respect to this Subala, and then they both change the dress and why we have to celebrate there is a two mood, Sridham Vrindavan Dham and Sridham Mayapur Dham. We can see the darshan of legs, but Srimati Radharani is so shy. In Shri Vrindavan Dham, you cannot see the legs. She cover chest lady, Srimati Radharani, so she cover all the body. And Mataji, you explained so nicely. And then finally, when Srimati Radharani came outside and वो काप को छाती पे लगाते जा रहे थे, तभी she is trying to say something, but somehow she understand that I am in a Subala's mood. And then when it is very interested part, when she came nearby Srimati Radharani, and Srimati Radharani said, can I call Chandravali? Then Lord Krishna is, no. जब मिल्क की भूख होती है तो कर्ड नहीं खा सकते. We need milk only. And Srimati Radharani see the Lord Krishna's face and then said, oh, you are not understand that I am Srimati Shri Radharani. And then Krishna is so happy. And so many pastime you explain, and from all this Astasaki, how Vishakha's explanation that the peacock dress, and she's teaching Srimati Radharani that how you have to fight with Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna also know that she's so loving and so take care of Srimati Radharani, and only Vishakha Sakhi can fight and chastise to Lord Krishna. She's the chaste Sakhi in Astasakhi, and she's so nicely playing the tambura Mataji, and that is a Julan Yatra Seva, and she engage all the Sakhis in the service Mataji. So nicely the picture is coming in our eyes. We are not qualified to enter in the Shidam Vrindavan Dham Mataji, but so because your sadhana is so strong. Koti Koti Danvat Pranam to all lotus feet, Kitira Sundari's lotus feet, and our all the teachers of Bhakti Sangha, and that little Vrinda's mother. How much determination you have, Mataji, to show Shri Radha Gopinath. From last 1 month, I am just jumping from one class to second to third to get the nectar from Shri Dham Vrindavan Dham. Koti Koti Danvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Hari Hari Bol. Jai Jai
Wonderful summary, Mataji. Always, always wonderful. Thank you, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Oh, seriously, so beautiful. Hari Bol. Okay, so if there are no other questions or comments, shall we end the call?
No, Mataji, we are so hungry. Can you sing something for us? Please forgive us. You are so tired. Make a note from 3-4 books, but still we need 2 minutes more.
Yeah. Sure.
Mataji, before you start song, I just want to say something. Very, very beautiful song. Sorry, class Mataji. I am in the song. I'm gone. Okay. Very, very beautiful class. Yes, song. Pastimes are songs, Mataji. In one sense, it's very, very nice. Thank you so much for bringing the pastime of Gopastami pastime. Why Radharani is dressed up like a Gopa, telling and how what Ramananda Rai and Swarupa Damodar Goswami is compared to the Lalita Saki and also Subal. It is very, very nice, Mataji, the comparison. How to the Lord Krishna, how they used to pacify here in the same way to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are pacifying when the separation, so much of separation is there for him. And like it was so nice, Mataji, so nice Nectarian description, Mataji, how it is like, when Krishna is not able to control, it's only the way, like, Subala and Lalita Saki used to assist them. Here we see Swarupa Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Rai is also giving the same thing, when even if Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could not speak, sometimes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu don't wanted to show his ecstasy because other devotees might feel sad, and like it was so nice, Mataji. It is so nice, and you were explaining different Sakas names. Different Sakas names and their relations with Krishna, and how Radharani is very jolo.
Hare Krishna, your class is so nice, Mataji. Again, can I sing one song so that all of you were encouraging?
Thank you.
Allow me to share my realization at all, Mataji. It's very difficult. It's very nice, Mataji, how Radharani was so jealous about Subala that, always they were so intimate, even with the in front of the senior, or no problem. Always they are happy and they are like, so friendly. So it's very nice, Mataji, to hear all this pastime today, especially because yesterday only we had that pastime celebration. So it is very nice. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Vinita Mataji, so beautifully sharing everything. Thank you so much. Thank you for your beautiful inputs. Thank you, Mataji. Vrinda, you want to sing, Vrinda?
Yes, Mataji.
Sing, baby, sing.
I want to sing.
Sing.
Okay, sing.
Nadia Namahata Jivera Kara Shadavan Janane Prabhuva Jana Madhyavisha Gola Krishna Vaja Krishna Gola Krishna Shekha Aparata Sunyari Krishna Krishna Rana Pra Krishna Santa Shariya Nachan Jivadoya Krishna Nama Sarvadan Mata Nadia Gotrumanicha Nanda Mahachan Adiyasi Namahata Jivarakara. Thank you, Mataji.
Beautiful, Vrinda.
Jai Ho, Vrinda Gopi, Dandava.
Jai Ho. Wonderful. She's so excited. Yeah. Anyone else wanted to say something?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Shri Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, such a wonderful class, Mataji, very nice. Mataji, you said that Subala Saka was actually Gauridas Pandit.
Mm-hmm.
So actually he was the real Subala, like Saka. But here here Ramananda Roy's mood is like compared to Subala's mood.
Correct.
We don't have to confuse it, right? Actually, he is not the Saka, Subala Saka. He's in the mood of Subala Saka.
Correct. That is right.
So what was the role of Gauridas Pandit, Mataji? Is there any details, any brief details?
Gauridas Pandit was there during the earlier pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before he took sannyas. he was very, very attached to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then later when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was leaving, he didn't want Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to leave or take sannyas. He was like very attached in a friendly way. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, both of them, they gave him this Gaur Nitai deities. That's what I've read about Devidas Pandit. They were there during the earlier pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All of them are Navdeep Vasis. So that is what I remember, Mataji. And he also got this government deities because they said that okay, you can worship these deities instead of having us in person like that.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. And the names you said about Radharani, she looks like Subala, and the one who's happy when Subala is happy. So that shows how much Subala and Radharani is being connected. We think we never talk about Saga, we always think about Krishna because they are related, and Sakis we think about Radharani. But this shows how Subala is connected to Radharani. Very nice class, Mataji. Thank you so much. Jai Sachinandan, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. I just thought of showing a picture of the deities of Gauridas Pandit, how, he was in this place called as, I think it was Ambika Palna or something. And the deities that were left with him as a, substitute, not a substitute, but, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu had to leave. These were the deities of yeah. So he said, you keep worshipping them and they are no different from us. So that's how he was absorbed in the worship of God Nitai.
Yes, Mataji, so nice, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Lakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam. Thank you so much for sharing such a wonderful pastime of Subala Sakha, as well as starting the pastime on Raghunath Das Goswami Maharaj. Raghunath Das Goswami. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Indu Mataji.
Very beautiful pastime. The way you shared about the entire Subala pastime was very beautiful.
Thank you, Indu Mataji. Thank you for the nice poster also. Thank you. Okay, Mataji, I'll just sing one or two lines, Mataji. Is that good?
Sure, Mataji, please.
Vrindavana Ramyasthana Divya Chintamani Dama Ratana Mandira Manohara. Vrindavana Ramyasthana Divya Chintamani Dama Ratana Mandira Manohara. Abrita Kalindini Rajahamsa Kilikare Tahe Shobe Kanaka Kamala. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. And that was the exact song in my mind, Praneshwari Mataji.
Hey, sing the whole song. Why you stopped?
I was just thinking of that song in my mind.
Tara. Praneshwari Mataji sings. Yeah. Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji.
Yeah. Tara Madhye Hema Pita Ashtadale Bishitita Ashtadale Pradana Nayika. Tara Madhye Ratnasani Bashiyache Dui Jane Shyama Sange Sundari Radhika. Vrindavana Ramyasthana Divya Chintamani Dama Ratana Mandira Manohara. ಅಪರೂಪ ಲಾವಣ್ಯ ರಾಶಿ ಆಮಿಯ ಪರಿಚಯ ಖಾಸಿ ಹಾಸ್ಯ ಪರಿಹಾಸ ಸಂಭಾಷಣೆ नरोत्तम दास कोई नित्य लीला सुख मोई सदाई स्फुरो मोर मने वृंदावन रम्य स्थान दिव्य चिंतामणि धाम रत्न मंदिर मनो आवृत कालिंदिनी राजहंस किलिकारे ताहे शोभे कनक कमला.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Very beautiful singing, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Mataji, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
श्री धाम वृंदावन धाम की जय. जय जय नित्यानंद. जय जय गौरांग.
Mataji, in the
अष्ट सखी
chat,
की जय.
Mataji, in the chat, Sucharya Mataji was asking, is the song by Bhaktivinoda Tagore? Is this from Narottam Das Tagore, right?
Yeah, I thought it was not. Yeah, it says Narottam Das Thakur.
Yeah, so there's a question Sucharya Mataji is asking.
Yes,
It's
Mataji, Narottam Das Thakur.
Thank you, Mataji, for putting it here. Okay, Mataji, so we can end.
Yes,
And
Mataji. Let's all offer our obeisances to all the Vaishnavas assembled on the call. And Preethi Vilasini Mataji, Vancha
You were about to
Kalpataru,
give a class, right?
Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
Namo Namah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Koti koti
Mataji.
dandavat pranam.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji. Hare
Mataji.
Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Preethi Vilasini Mataji ki jai. Thank you.
Mataji ki
Krishna.
jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare